often told, I don't have enough space for a compost heap. Well, today I'm going to put that myth, that fallacy, that excuse that you've been using to bed for once and for all, and you will be able to see how small a little compost heap that you can have in your garden, whether it's this big or that big. Now, we all know that compost is the life-giving blood to any soil. It adds carbon, it adds humic content, that brings in the good hohos, which enable our plants to grow well. We know that people living on the West Coast, people living in areas, even in KwaZulu-Natal and in Joburg, sometimes end up gardening in sea sand or even in dark red clayey soil. The way that you improve that soil is by adding humic content. And the humic content is either the bags of compost that you buy at your local garden centre, or of course, the one that's for free is the one that you make at home. So let's show you how to make your own mini composter that you can have in amongst your veggies, in amongst your flowers, no matter how big or small your garden is. What you're going to need is 1 times terracotta pot, and the reason why we use terracotta is because it just looks gorgeous. It of course doesn't have to be it, but why I do like terracotta is because it breathes. Air can move in and out of it, so can moisture. You're never going to get that sweating, and it adds a really nice addition to my garden. So 1 times terracotta pot. What you do want to make sure is that you've got a yogurt tub that will, your terracotta pot will literally be able to fit over the yogurt tub. Okay, got that part. So you don't want a mini yogurt tub, you want like the extra large stuff that you buy. So it can do that. And you want a little handle that you can pick up from your local hardware store and a washer. All right. First thing we're going to do is take our yogurt tub, and I am going to remove the base of it off. Now I'm using a craft knife for this, so please be careful when you are doing it. Let's get our blade in a bit more, and all we're going to do is cut that off. Perfect. So we've got 1 times yogurt tub without base. That is going to go into the soil. We're going to take our lid, which is going to be our terracotta pot, and all I'm going to do is simply add our little handle to it. So washer down, pop that little guy on there. You can either put the washer here or you can put it on the inside. I actually think I'm going to put it on the inside. Pop our screw through there and just turn it around, get it on. There we go, 1 little lid, and you got the idea now. So this is going to go into the ground. This will be at soil level, and that will be my little lid that I'll be putting on top of it. So now that we know what we're going to be building there, what can I put inside my compost heap? There are so many arguments out there about what you can and what you can't use in composting. So let's cut to the chase and tell you exactly what you can put in there. Any greens. So, you know, whether you're growing your own or whether you're buying bunches of greens from your local grocery store, there are always leaves that you don't use. And normally these just end up in the trash bin and just go to waste, guys. And this is full of nutrition and possible humic content and compost for your garden. So any greens, spinach leaf there, some kale leaves from your smoothies. Yep, they can also go into your compost heap. Cabbage leaves, anything green. Remember, compost heaps are vegetarians. They don't like dairy and they don't like meat. Other than that, that is your basic rule. I'm often asked, what about citrus peels? Because they make compost heaps acidic. Well, that's absolute nonsense. The only reason why citrus peels are not suggested to put into your compost heap is that they take such a long time to break down. One trick with that is just take your citrus peels, put them in a plastic packet, throw them in the deep freeze for about 2 weeks, take them out and back onto the compost heap. And what happens is they decompose much quicker, and so you don't need to throw them away. So you can see that because of the size of my little compost heap, all I'm doing is just breaking down these leaves. I like keeping a little ice cream tub in the kitchen. Keep it right where you're cooking or preparing your meal, because then it's not about, oh, I need to get something, I need to put the bits in, because when there's an easy way out, we throw it in the dustbin. Okay, so just keep it there. You can put a lid on it, seal it up, and then whenever you've got time, you can go out and give it to your compost heap. Of course, eggshells. Beautiful. You can either use these in the garden, crush them up really nice and fine, the finer the better, and put them around your plants to stop the snails from getting to them. But compost heaps also love them. Remember, it's a good source of calcium. Banana skins, guys, potassium, amazing. Pop banana skins just like this around your tomato plants, around your veggies, boy, and that is like giving them a boost of rocket fuel. All right, tea bags, coffee grinds, and yep, what do we do with the egg boxes? Well, compost heaps love any cardboards, any leftover cardboard, as long as it's not glossy. Remember, if there's any labeling on it, take it off, because underneath labeling is normally glue, and that's not so cool for your compost heap. So you'll see I've just broken them all up. Pretty simple, and let's put it all back into our ice cream tub. Remember, the last note about composting is they don't like bones, they don't like fish bones, they don't like any cooked food. So even if you've cooked your veggies and you've got leftover, they don't need to go into this. Those should rather go into your bokashi bins, which have a bacteria which allows the processing of cooked food. So remember, raw things straight into the compost heap. Let's go and find a spot to pop this into my veggie garden and show you how the whole process gets going. Okay guys, so I know that the soil is poor. This is literally the first crop that has been planted in here. It's base clay soil, so I know that it's going to need some composting. And the fact that I've got this little guy that I can move around as I'm working, then it makes sense, doesn't it? So I've decided on my little spot here. All I've got to do now is dig out soil so that this guy can go into here and be at the right level. Right, all I do is pop my little yogurt tub in there, and we then take some of our excess soil, backfill it so that I can continue gardening around this, planting whatever I want, whether it's seedlings, whether it's my colour, my veggies. I know that I can continue working around this whilst I'm feeding the soil close by. Firm it down. Oh, I love this concept. And then we take our bits, and all we do is add it in here. Throw a little bit of soil on top to help getting the compost processing going. And so as you have waste, so you can just fill it in. And you can have a number of these throughout your veggie garden or your flower garden. As you get more, so you just add it, and all you do is just lift the lid, cover it with a bit of soil over there, get everything going, pop my lid on, and composting is going to start. In this way, it was going to decompose. As it starts decomposing, of course, the volume is going to become less, because all of those leafy greens and that are going to start breaking down and become smaller and smaller. Then you can just add more and more. Let's show you what happens when this is finished and what it looks like. Always keep checking up on your yogurt tub and your little composter. When everything is broken down, you can simply lift the lid, pull it up, and let all that beautiful composted material slide back into the soil, and then you're ready to plant. Imagine that going around your garden, that gorgeous humic content that you're adding back into the soil. Once again, no excuse for not having a compost heap.